you can have right here backstage. Pass out laughing, yes sir, here at Backstage. Staying on topic with conversation, make you think, hey, please don't be scared. Making a fuss, they jokes, partner, please lighten up. The comedy's about making life funny, bruh. And if you're ready for the show now, follow me backstage, cause it's about to go down.
1, 2, 3, in the place to be. Yours truly, the voice, Mr. Sadwar Fair, still everywhere. Your host, BBL Marshall. Hey man, we've got a hot one for you guys on today as we welcome in to Backstage, our friend Backstage, Mr. Jermaine Mickey of J. Mickey World Entertainment and the R&B group To The Extreme. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight in to this conversation because I know he's busy with his time. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Mr. Jermaine Mickey. How's it going, Jermaine?
What's going on, bro?
You got it. You got it. Look like you in the studio as well.
I am in the studio, always in the studio working.
Now, I kind of got a distraction here. I kind of got a bad taste in my mouth, man. I look over your shoulder and I see that Washington. What is that? Washington Cocoa.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
Is it too soon? That. Is it too soon, Jermaine?
No, man. You know it's all good, man. We rebuilding, man. It's looking good over here now.
I just got one thing. I got one thing to say.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I salute him, man. Hey, man, that dude is the GOAT, man.
Hey, I told y'all, y'all said I was crazy when I said that he was going to do it without Tyreek. Then I said we was going to come back and do it without EB. And both of them brothers wish they had stayed in KC. So, yeah. I just want, I'm on my payback tour. So,
look, we sent EB back to y'all, man. He just didn't do good.
You know what? EB had y'all clicking for a minute, but your boys was complaining he was too tough. Him too hard on us. Him do too much. Okay. Well, him only got a couple of rings. Him only was coaching, offensive coordinating the best player in football right now, and soon to arguably be the best quarterback to do it.
Yeah.
But hey, that's enough of that. How you doing, man?
Man, all is well, brother. I mean, you know, you ain't gonna take it easy on me all the way back to the Jermaine Mickey show days, but it's all good, bro.
Yeah. Speaking of the Jermaine Mickey show and Quartet Hour and Churching with J. Mickey, and you got a couple of new shows that we want you to introduce and get to talking about before we get into, because there's layers to it, man. We've got Jermaine Mickey, the entertainer, Jermaine Mickey, the singer, Jermaine Mickey, the producer, Jermaine Mickey, the network owner, man. How is it wearing all those hats?
Well, it's new to me because normally I'll just sit back and be the younger guy in the group and just sing and do my part when I was with 2D, man. So I'll just sit back and relax and do my thing. But thank God for my god brother started me in the radio. TC Converse, God bless him, man. I wouldn't have did it without him because I didn't know anything about radio. I wouldn't have did it without him, but he started me into it, and we started it out just doing, man, we were nowhere where we are now. We was taking the phone and putting it to the speaker and playing the music and on Blog Talk Radio. And, you know, man, we just kept going. Then I started the Quartet Hour with myself, and then I had some other people in it. But then Randy Gill came on with me. And once Randy Gill came, man, it got hilarious. And then that's when the numbers started picking up for the Quartet Hour. So, because we was like the Steve Harvey show of Quartet. Randy will have no problem, and he's not even a comedian, but he have any problems just tearing you alive, man. I know we had an episode that we did on the keynotes, and he had this thing where he was making fun of Larry playing the guitar. He was like, "This dude is off key," and man, we ran that jump to the Jeffrey Newberry. The keynotes called that.
Yeah,
like Randy. Larry looking for you. And I was like, oh Randy wasn't on the time.
So Randy was the first comedic beef.
Yes, he was. He was definitely, and he ran that bit for a long time. And really, Jeffrey and Larry and them all know us from being, Johnny's son gospel. So they know him from singing gospel. So it was
now let me stop you here. Let me stop you right there. Don't forget your place. So when you hear Jermaine speaking of Randy, he's speaking about his cousin, which is also his co-host, which is also his bandmate, Randy Gill, the brother of Johnny Gill, which is Jermaine's two first cousins. So we just wanted to clear that up for the viewers.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yes, Johnny Gill, Randy Gill, man. My mentors, man, in this. But when I started that, and and it has progressed, and then we got picked up an R&B show, and now we're sitting at least 10 of our shows are syndicated.
Good. That's what's up, and congratulations, man. Now, how did that wind up with Jeffrey, Larry, Randy, and yourself? How did that play out?
Well, they were fans of the show. They would listen to the show, and when they heard that, and we just kept running it, people would just kept saying, "Man, Randy, talk about we did a part 1, then we did a part 2." And shout out to Miss Redeem. Miss Redeem was our co-host. It was just us 3. It was me, Randy, and Miss Redeem. And man, it just took on a thing to themselves, to the fact that Jeffrey said, "Man, where Randy at, man? Larry looking for him." I said, "Oh no." I didn't know how it was going to go, but I do know we were all family. And I was like, "Larry, he ain't here." He said, so then Larry called in. Was like, "Man, where Randy at?" And then he actually said, "Yeah, I play off key." And Willie know I played off key. I was like, "Oh my God." He said, "I love Randy. I love Johnny Arden." And it was all love after that.
Man, so that gave Randy some more material to be like, he play off key and he know he play off key.
Then Randy got to messing with, Tutu of the Truth ads, talking about the peanut butter and jelly. And man, he has so many bits, man. But everybody just loved it. And Quartet Hour did very well. Unfortunately, we retired the show. It was there for like at least 10 years and doing good numbers. So now that's taking its place is Quartet Churching, which is myself. And I ain't used to being by myself, but man, I started the show, bought the Quartet Hour back because I was like, I can't do it by myself. And then I want to give a shout out to Malachi. You know Malachi, Chris.
Yeah, I know Malachi.
I'm a big fan of Malachi's show, and I noticed how he took his show, that 1 hour, and made it entertainment by himself. I was like, yo, if Malachi can do this, I can do this.
Yeah. And
that's what I did. And then eventually we picked up the kid Daryl. We let him have his bad singing on there, and Miss Nina Teller is a part of the show. Now we have a syndicated show that people love right now. So Quartet Churching is doing very, very well, man, in place of the Quartet Hour, man. But I missed the Quartet Hour.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Yeah, I got a chance to sit in and guest host with you and Angel, and that was hilarious, man. That
I remember that show. Show did, yeah, man. It was just crazy, man. But I missed the Quartet. And shout out to Angel too. So it's me and we started out with me, Randy, and Don Kelly. And then from there we picked up Angel, and then Granddaddy Harvey came in as well, and that's when it really got crazy because we had Randy and Granddaddy Harvey. It was hilarious. If we had a chance to just keep that going, it would have been out of nowhere. But everybody's schedules are so busy.
Of course,
so I bought Quartet Churching back, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And it's doing very, very well on the top of my R&B shows.
Now, Jermaine, how was it growing up with a cousin, a first cousin, like brothers growing up with you, Johnny, and Randy when Johnny took off and hit so fast, so hot, from the Stacy Lattisaw days to him even being with Half Crazy, joining New Edition, and then you even jumping into with Randy the music business. Take us from that conception up to how To the Extreme came about?
Well, I have 3 sisters. I'm the only boy, and I'm the oldest. So I never had any brothers. So my boy cousins is all I hung around.
Right.
And only thing I remember as a child is going over my aunt's house and seeing all the instruments in the living room and all of that other stuff. But I was too young to know what they were doing a little bit. This is when Johnny, before Johnny even went to New Edition. Right. So I didn't quite remember that part of it. But when I got a little older and he went to New Edition, I can remember when that Heartbreak album came out, and I was like, New Edition was like one of those subtle type groups. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have that quartet style guy coming out.
That
like
grit. That. Yeah, that grit.
So I remember on their first title song, I think it was called That's the Way We Live or something.
Yeah.
And they were going through
the
song,
the SOS band, that SOS band bridge to it.
Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah. It was like that. And then out of nowhere, you heard, like,
yeah.
And out of nowhere, it's this, they sound change.
Yep.
And he was just going, there's a better time. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
And to see that's my cousin to change their sound like that, I just took hold. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. It's just their whole sound changed just like that. And I watched him as growing up while he was doing that. And he would come home, and every time I would try to pick his brain to see what was going on, but I really wasn't into singing. At the time, I played drums for my mother's gospel group because our whole family sings. So I played drums for my mother's gospel group. I never started to sing, until my mother asked me to sing a song and I played the drums or whatever. But I always had a passion for it. I just never wanted to become a singer. I just wanted to play drums. And as I watched Johnny and watched him on all these major shows, I said, one day I'm going to be on Soul Train. One day I'm going to be on the Apollo. One day I'm going to do the Arsenio Hall show. And man, it happened. So, I can say he was a bigger part of my life in transitioning to the singing because I didn't want to sing. I just wanted to play drums and just support my family. But it all changed, 93? When I first left home, and me and Randy and our brother DeExtra got signed to MCA Gasoline Alley in 93. And that was the first time I left my mother. Because I was a homebody. I never left my mother. And that was the first time I can remember getting on the plane, and it was like I never been apart from her. And the tears that she was sharing.
So how hard did you cry when you was on the plane, Jermaine?
She cried more than me. I mean, I cried, but it was like somebody poured a bucket of water on my mother's face.
Wow.
That's how she just was like, what? But she was able to experience that moment.
Yeah.
She didn't miss a beat. She was able to experience when I was on Apollo. She was able to experience when I was on Arsenio Hall. I can remember calling her because, LA, we had to tape the show. So it's different times. But back in the East, it comes on at late 10, 11 o'clock.
Right.
So we have already taped the show, and then by the time they see it, it's late. And I can get the calls, and oh my God, man. So, man, it was just, Johnny was a big part of me and Randy getting to the next, because we always sung in church.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
He went to
and we'll touch on that too, bro. It's like, man, when you was talking about how Johnny changed the sound of New Edition, like New Edition was that group because they gave us the nostalgic reminiscence of the Jacksons, because now the Jacksons wasn't together, so they gave us something to say, oh yeah, that's just like the Jacksons. But then when Johnny came, I said, man, it's a whole nother stratosphere, because they hit that Motown formula of the trend, like the Temptations, like the mega groups always had that soul stirring grit voice, and then they David Ruffin, and then they had that smooth falsetto of Ralph Tresvant and Eddie Kendricks.
Yeah.
So when I saw Johnny and Ralph team up, I said, uh-oh.
Yeah, and when they got used to him, because I'm sure they ain't seen that voice in a while, but he has that gospel quartet background. And like I said, when I first heard that song on that title track in the Amy Heartbreak album, I said, "Oh my God, yo, man, this is." It just changed their whole sound, but.
Hey, and then when you heard that, these are the things that change boys to men.
He didn't like that song. Man. He didn't like that song.
I know. He sung it like he was fighting it too, boy. He beat the best out that song.
He said that he said, man, all these songs, I'm gonna make it clean. He said all these songs that y'all got and y'all gonna give me this. He said, I'm gonna mess this song up.
Yeah.
And man, on that last part, all you got to do, right? You can tell he was out for man, I'm gonna show y'all to stop playing with me. And Jimmy Jam was like, we got you. We got you. You tearing it up. And man, for me on that, man, I'm so proud of them, man. They just started their residency starting in next week in Vegas, and
I gotta get down
the fame. Yeah, they negotiate more dates. You know, I can't do the first leg, but I'm gonna definitely try to do the second leg. But man, I am so proud. Man, that is my mentor.
Yeah. And, now you and Randy carried it well, Jermaine, because as you mentioned, man, the Apollo Theater. How was that?
It was amazing. Yeah, we all grew up watching this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all seen the lady with the jerry curl up front.
I saw you get down there and start singing.
Oh man, and she was toe up drunk and she had my neck, and I was like, oh my God. But
hey, you got down there and couldn't get up. You was like, I can't, fellas, help.
Yeah, man. Man, I'm telling you, man, it was crazy. But when you go back and look, I'm glad they have archives where I'm able to see, because a lot of the stuff that we don't have VCRs anymore.
No.
And I had that on tape. We don't have it, so we weren't able to see it. But now you can go on Apollo, I think on Tubi or something. You can see those old episodes. And I go back and watch it, and I'm like, oh my God. And I look up at her and I'm like, Mom, look at your son. She was able to see it.
Yeah.
She was alive from the time I was with Tubi Stream until I left. Well, not really left until we got out of the career. She was able to experience. We did for ladies only show with Johnny in Chicago. She flew in. And man, it was crazy. It was like her and my aunt, God bless her, because we just lost Johnny's mom. They were together at that show. And man, if you seen the video, I think they got video. People just going crazy.
And they went crazy. Now I saw the one in DC. They went crazy in DC too.
Yeah, but Chicago was crazy. Johnny was by himself. This was when he was doing solo. Yeah, he was doing the solo. And because that's when he had left New Edition and did the Rub You the Right Way album. All that stuff.
Because he was on the sound stage with that.
Yeah, so he did a For Ladies Only by himself, and we opened up for him. And I flew my mother in for that show. And for her just being with her sister, her older sister, they sat in the crowd, and the girls was going crazy, and they were just with their fur coats on, just sitting there looking like
these boys,
like the queens that they are. Like, this doesn't faze me. We here for this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they had their sunshades on, and I was so proud to have my mother experience that, man. So she experienced a lot of moments with me when I was on video. So she wasn't able to do the Apollo, but she saw the Apollo show.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't think that was our best performance, because we were sick. We was coming from overseas, and we were sick during our Apollo. And I didn't like that performance.
Well, that little lady enjoyed y'all, because she grabbed hold of you. She said, young man, come here, young man.
But hey, man, you've seen this lady forever.
Yeah.
You wouldn't imagine that you would be on stage, not as an amateur act, but as a professional act.
As a professional.
Knowing your song. And that's one of the memorable moments for me. I got another one that was memorable. That's one.
What's the other one?
Soul Train.
Oh man, yeah, you got it. Was it Don Cornelius on Soul Train at that point?
DL, check this out.
Oh wow.
When we got signed to MCA Records
Uh-huh.
and did Soul Train, the first time we did Soul Train, this was Don Cornelius' final show.
Oh man. Oh.
I mean, we didn't get that. This was the show where he was saying, "Farewell, I'm out."
Wow.
Imagine if we would have came later and
y'all would have missed him.
It was all in God's plan because God was showing us, this is y'all, this is it right here. And we were able to do the show with Don right before he retired. That was his last show.
Y'all got to salute and send off a legend.
Yes. His very last deal. I get chills right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When I go back and watch the Al Greens and Aretha Franklin and the Spinners and the Jermaine,
Marvin Gaye,
Temptation, Marvin Gaye, all these people come on that stage.
Man.
And you're on that stage with the man. He was very intimidating, man. He ain't play. I got a story. He was very intimidated. But thank God I was able to meet him. Because he worked behind the scenes after that. But
yeah.
Your whole dream is to be interviewed by him.
By Don Cornelius.
And we were able to accomplish that. So that's one of my, those were two of my most, well, I got three senior hall, of course.
Hey, so did he come up to you and say, "So what's your name, young brother?"
Yes, he did. Yes. He'd go around and he said, you Randy Gill, you Johnny's brother. Yes. And I'm the cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, "What was you?" He asked yes. He said, "What was you?" He said, "I'm the god brother." You know, and we laughed about it. Man, that right there was the most memorable. I remember calling my mother crying because I was like, "Oh my God, Mom!" As a child, and I'm a '70s baby.
Yeah.
As a child, I watched that show.
Iconic.
From all the intros that they had and all that stuff. Growing up, you said one day everybody that had that prophecy, one day I'm gonna be on that show, have made it.
Bruh, you got a chance to do the iconic, legendary Apollo Theater, the legendary Soul Train with Don Cornelius, and now you get an opportunity to let those dogs loose.
Let it loose.
On the Arsenio Hall show. How was that, man?
Yeah. This right here, I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but to see my family watch three of their family members on a major platform like that.
Yeah.
And Arsenio Hall did us very well. Of course, everybody remembered the back and forth with JG and Johnny singing back and forth. For him to give that opportunity to us to highlight I was able to sit there and watch brother to brother on a major platform go back and forth with each other. Yeah, you can't do nothing but hold back tears, man. You looking at your older cousins that you grew up with, and you're on that stage. And I watched them like of course I was a fan, but I was in the group.
Right. Say, I got a job I got to do. Come on now. Pay attention.
And what JG was doing was passing the torch to Randy, said, "Hey, you can have some too." And he took advantage of it, man. A lot of people say, Randy won it. Johnny wasn't really going back and forth. JG wasn't doing that.
Johnny is one of the greatest singers ever.
Yeah. One of my favorites.
Blank period.
One of my favorites. But Randy, let me give some hope to him. The stuff that he did on those albums, man. I mean, amazing. From the Chronomo album to the second album that we done. I was telling somebody, I was doing vocal lessons for somebody, and I was telling him how he did one note on this album, or one song that we were doing. I don't know what album. It was on the second album, and he did a note. He went up. I was upstairs because I was always the one that do my vocals, and I'll be gone. I'm the quickest one to do my background vocals and be gone. Everybody else be in the studio.
Take Jake.
Yeah, I'll go and do my background vocals. That's it. Okay, cool. And I'm playing PlayStation or something. And I'm playing PlayStation, and I heard Randy saying this note. I was like, "Oh my God!" what he did, sometimes I get emotional just going on those albums and listening to him with the work that he put in. He was one of the best lead singers for us. Us as being I love those brothers. You know, Randy's like a brother to me, a big brother to me. But we travel all over the world together. But Randy has held us down for years, and man, he was amazing. So he set his own legacy from that Arsenio Hall show all the way up. Because JG was like, "This is my brother, y'all. He's here.
No.
This is it." And boom, that was it.
Dope, and that's how it's supposed to be, man. If y'all just now joining in, thank you so much. But where y'all been? Welcome backstage. Yours truly, the voice, Mr. Sadwell Fair, the DL Marshall. I got my brother, my friend on Jermaine Mickey, CEO of J Mickey World Music and Entertainment, group member of 2D Extreme. And man, let me tell you, that Cry No More hit, bruh. I mean, when that hit, that was like a California wildfire. What was that like, man? Just seeing everybody singing your song, enjoying your song, hearing it in heavy rotation. What is that like, bro?
Yeah, when right before we got signed to MCA, we did a radio show here in DC called PGC 95. And they had, you have them home jam shows where they, doing local artists. We did that show before we did the show that made us. We did that radio podcast. And the guy that interviewed us wasn't in the studio. My boy Paco Lopez. I think you met Paco on Clubhouse. Paco interviewed us for the home jam show. And I wasn't in the group then. I was just filling in. That's how I kind of got hired in the group, because they knew, oh, wait a minute, Jermaine can actually sing. Randy didn't want me in the group because he was like, his mother ain't gonna let him go.
He gonna hold us up.
He just was holding me back. DS was like, man, let him be in the group.
Little brother in you.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. But when they heard me sing on the home jam show, they was like, we gotta keep it. It was actually 4 of us before.
Okay.
And we had a guy called Dawood, and he was in it before me, and then they brought me in it, and it was 4. And then Dawood dropped out because he was getting signed to somebody else, so it just stayed as 3. So we went back to PGC. My cousin Denise had a little segment on there that talk about entertainment news or whatever. And they would ask her about Johnny because whatever, we all family. So she told Randy, why don't y'all come up there? We was like, all right, cool. So we came up there. They wanted to know about Johnny, so we did that. So somebody said, well, we heard y'all can sing, y'all a group. Like, yeah. So we sung Treat Him Like You Want to Be Treated. And people were calling, like Jodeci, the song Jodeci and Father MC.
Yeah, and Father MC.
Right. So people were calling, that's Jodeci, that's Jodeci. He was like, no, that's not Jodeci.
Right.
So after the interview was over, Paco comes in. Paco said, yo, man, I remember y'all. Didn't y'all do my home jam show? And he was like, yeah. He was like, man, y'all are amazing, y'all, whatever. So the extra is very, very sneaky. You got to watch him. He's very, the extra can be one place and then you look, he's gone somewhere else. So after the interview, me and Randy went to the lobby area. Paco went to set up for his show because he was coming in for the setup of the show. So the extra followed Paco to the production room. And he was like, Paco, I need something. It's something that I want you to hear. And he was like, man, I'm getting ready for my show. He said, I don't have a lot of time. He was like, look, I just want you to hear this song. So he was like, see that tape recorder over there? Put it in that tape recorder. So he was like, all right, he put the tape recorder, and the little drums come up, boop, 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 boop. And Paco was like, play that again. And he heard that,
Yeah.
He said, stop. Play that again. He actually played it. He stopped it again. He said, yo, we got to play this. Y'all going to be stars. We have to play this song. And the extra went down and looked down the hall. He said, Randy, Jermaine, come back. So he called all the PDs from the radio station in the room.
Wow.
To hear this song. Now, remind you, he's supposed to be going on the air.
Right.
But he's giving us that moment to say, we got to play this song. And they came, they was like, yo, this is a hit. Y'all gonna be stars. And man, they say if you bring the gap back, we'll play it. So we had to, get some strings and whatever. Mindy Extra ran to shout out to Kevin Jackson, Stacey Ladison's husband, actually produced that song with Randy and them. And we had to get that from him. We were like, man, Kevin, it wasn't really mixed. Well, it was mixed, but he wouldn't let that thing go for nothing. So we got look.
Like, bro, come on, man.
Come on, dude. We need it. He's like, I don't know, Shadi. I don't know. Yo, man, we need this song. So, make a long story short, he gave us that. We went all the way back to the radio station, gave it to Paco. Paco took it, put it on real, whatever they do. And me and the extra left, and we riding down the highway. And then all of a sudden, we heard a WPGC exclusive.
And they broke your record.
And dude, we cried. We started shouting on the highway. We in the middle of the street. Pulled the car over and was like, oh my God.
Man, just like in the movies.
Yes, and 4 weeks straight, it went number one. People just kept calling the song, calling it every time. They called it, and then that's when the big dogs came around. MCA, Gasoline Alley.
Wow.
Shy was our buddies. We hung out with Shy, but they would always tell Gasoline Alley, there's a group in DC called To the Extreme. They coming, and we came that way, and man, the rest was history after that.
Yeah, because you guys and Shy, that was kind of like the groups that you had in that time. You had groups that kind of like Boys to Men and Jodeci. You know what I mean? They would battle it out. It was who was it? New Edition, and it was somebody else when they tried to come up on New Edition. Was it High Five? I think it was High Five.
Yeah, something like that. But speaking of Jodeci, shout out to Devontae. We were supposed to, when we first trying to get signed, we were supposed to meet up with Puffy at a Jodeci
look at God. Hey, look at God.
And
ain't no telling how y'all might have to freak off to get that signed up.
Yes, sir, man. Good God about it. Boy, it was raining. That was never God saying this ain't gonna happen. But
y'all came in there soaking wet. Puffy to be like,
no. But check this out. So Devontae, the extra knows Devontae and Dalvin from church.
Yeah,
so they've been knowing each other for years. So we went up to the hotel to sing for Devontae. And Devontae was like, yo, I'm gonna sign y'all to Swing Up.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh man. So he said, I'm gonna do y'all production thing on y'all. And that's how we did Cry No More. All we did is went and remixed it. And that's how that demo tape. So he was a part of our career too. People don't know that. Devontae Swing was a part of our career getting started as well. So.
Dope, man. And Devontae, man, that brother, of course, Jodeci. Of course, Timberland Magoo, Missy Elliott, Genuine, Aaliyah, that whole camp, man. And now
Tank came in too.
So man, then he adds you guys. So yeah, shout out to Devontae Swang and Swing.
Yeah,
Mom.
he got his. It was a production company that he was starting. It was real big, but they didn't end up signing us. They signed us to a production deal, but they didn't end up signing us fully. And we kept going and did the interview, and we were doing shows without a record deal. We were doing like Juneteenth shows, like Juneteenth with 60,000 people. And we were doing shows. We didn't have a record deal, and people were battling to see what us, and Gasoline Alley won.
See,
and there it is.
Got to get out there and do it. Jermaine Mickey is in the building, and man, you got some stories. I gotta see if I can prompt you to tell that Don Cornelius one.
He
ain't gonna get you now,
dude. This is the story right here. So remember, we did Soul Train the first time, right?
Yeah,
he was there. The second time we did Soul Train, Don was behind the scenes.
Okay.
So we had this song that we did with Layla Hathaway called "You Got Me Going," and I sang half a lead on the song.
She is a beast.
Yeah, she's an awesome beast, man. Another person that I had a chance to work with. So we had this song. We were going to do it on Soul Train. So we was like, yo, we're going to get the band and we're going to have the rappers. The guy that actually rapped on the song, he was in Juice. If you remember, the light-skinned dude said, "We know who got the juice now."
Yeah.
They had he at the time they had a rap group called Red Eye, and
and you know what? He reminded me at that time of Q-Tip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
He actually, and he kind of got that style from Q.
Yeah.
If you listen to him rap, if you hear "You Got Me Going," you listen to him rap, he sounds just like Q-Tip. But we was going to do it. Oh, we're gonna do Earth, Wind, and Fire type thing. We're gonna get on the stage. We have our band. We got this and that and the other. So we get to Soul Train. We start setting up. Don is not there, but everything is going as planned. They said, so whoever the people that he had in charge, I guess Don wasn't paying attention or whatever. But we were just setting up. We was doing whatever. So when we had everybody on stage, we had the band and we had our own band. We had the rappers and all that. So as soon as they said action, ladies and gentlemen, to your screen, and then the music stopped, we heard somebody say cut.
Oh no.
Oh my God, what that? And out of nowhere, here come this tall dude, said, strike all this.
Whoa.
I didn't ask for none of this on my stage. So y'all gonna do the jump the way we want y'all to do it, with the rapper without this. He was like, yes, Mr. Okay. And we had to take anything.
He said, what y'all ain't gonna do is come up in
my stage. And we was like, okay, Mr. Canadian. And
now, is that groovy? Is that groovy? You dig?
now Don is he don't play no games.
Right.
He don't. I remember when New Edition was on as young, and remember Lusky, the dude that be dancing across the stage.
Yeah,
he's big friends with he was big fans of New Edition, and they became real close. But one time he came on stage and was dancing, and Don came up to interview him, and he all posing with it, and he walks off, and Don comes past. He said, "Big Louie, don't come on stage no more." Don is not to be played with, man. But to meet this guy that had this big afro that you remember back in the days to now, and to imagine you standing next to him, I don't care how it is. We just all in awe, man, to just be on that stage. But that was a funny moment, man, because we told our people, y'all won't be showed on Soul Train. Don was like,
now you ain't.
Whoever that's singing this song, y'all can do it that way, or y'all not doing it at all. No, y'all got to go. So, there it is.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but DC said y'all got to go. Hey, man, we got Jermaine Mickey sitting in backstage with yours truly, Mr. Sad Warfare, the DL Marshall. DL's Backstage Past Conversations, another dope conversation with another dope conversationalist. So we understand, Jermaine, you grew up in the church, man. Gospel music is your fiber in your DNA. Take us through your church days, man. Music in the church, attending church, quartet in your blood. How did that take place?
Well, my mother brought us up on quartet. Everybody in our family that quartet music. That's our sign. That's our thing. And I grew up singing with them.
Okay.
I remember one day when I first started discovering the drums, I was little. I can remember this. I mean, I wasn't big enough, but I remember it clear as day. When they called him up to sing, I walked as a child to the drum set. And my aunt I can remember my aunt saying, "What are you doing?" I'm about to play drums, whatever. But I grew up playing drums with my mother and them. My mother, Johnny mother, my mother, my aunts, they had a group, a female group. But Johnny's mother's son was their group. Her boys called the Wings of Faith. And then she joined my mother. So we all sung or whatever. So I was in that part. And then as time goes on, the label, we ended, I came home. And I still sung with my family, when I was able to. And then me and my sisters took over, and I sung with them, and it was just us three. And then I had the opportunity to in their final years to sing to be on stage and grace the stage with the Pyramid Jubilees.
Oh
With
wow.
Clay and Clee.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody that R&B days, you would never forget it. But this right here was definitely a major moment for me to see Clee and Clay, who I grew up listening to.
The Jubes.
I was like,
Chicago.
Like, oh my God, I'm with Clee and Clay. And then in the older years now, I mean, of course, I wasn't with Dan and all those, man. I mean, I wouldn't even fit into that. But just to be able to stand on stage with them, I said my career is complete. It's not, I'm not saying I'm ending it, but you can't do it.
Yeah. You like, hey God, if nothing else come my way, you giving me the Apollo, you giving me
Soul
Train, and the doggone Jubes.
The Jubes. I mean, I'm talking about Clee and Clay, and I was able to be on stage with Clee, Clay, the late Mike, play bass, and Bobby McDowell, Uncle Bobby.
Wow.
Those were the main four, and I was able to touch the stage with them. And I said, man, come on, God.
A lot of people don't realize how quartet music affects R&B music. You got Johnny Gill that came from the Wings of Faith. You got Casey and JoJo coming from Little Cedric and the Haley Singers. You had Devontae and Dalvin who were quartet in quartet group. You got Fantasia that was in the quartet group with her family, the Barrino family. Man, the list goes. You got Bobby Womack, you got Sam Cooke, you got Lou Rawls. Man, you got so many of the strong core of R&B that came out of quartet. Man,
David Ruffin sung with the Swan Silvertones.
Who did?
David Ruffin. I think he was a member of the Swan Silvertones.
That's right.
Dennis Edwards sung with quartet group. It just goes on and on. Ollie Wilson was singing with quartet group. It's a lot of people that came from that, man. Quartet, to me, is the greatest music I ever heard in my life.
Johnny Taylor.
Oh my God, Spencer Taylor that's still singing today, man. You just look at it, man. It's one of the greatest music that I can ever hear. I can never go without a drive or whatever, man. It's just something, and that's what started me to start my radio station, Quartet Nation.
Yeah,
because I've seen in my eyes, I'm like, quartet ain't getting this jazz due. I got to do something. And now I have a 24-hour quartet station because of the roots that my mother brought me up on. I want to make sure that I keep that roots alive. So, yeah.
Man,
it's just been a journey.
About that bass guitar and that drum, when that's kicking, when those two are in sync, oh, my God.
I'm going to tell you the video that really changed my life, that when I got with the Jews, I was like, this is amazing. When I saw the Jackson State concert with the Williams Brothers, the
Jackson Southerners,
the Volunteers, and man, when I saw in the keynotes, that was the best quartet moment for me in my life.
Yes.
My mother, I remember my mother bought, because they had individual DVD, no, not DVDs, they had individual VHS tapes.
Yep.
She had the Volunteers, she had the Jackson, and she had all the individual tapes. And I
wasn't the Clouds on that too, Jermaine?
No, the Clouds wasn't on.
Clouds wasn't on that one. Okay,
it was just the Williams Brothers, the Jackson Southerners, the Keynotes, and the Volunteers. And I think there were other groups. I was talking to Jonas. They were saying that there was other groups on there that I didn't even know about that opened up. But those four iconic performances changed my life as a child, because I was like, oh my
man, God. It's that VHS tape right there, Jermaine, that I fell in love with the Williams Brothers. If I don't wake up.
Yes, they were killing. Man, let me tell you, they were killing. Let me tell you something. And I had the Williams Brothers on my show.
Yeah.
I'm a Jermaine Nigga TV. I did an interview with the Williams Brothers. I played the audio, but I never did the video. I told Melvin, I said, there's two memorable moments on that whole concert that people need to realize. When Melvin sung I'm Just a Nobody.
Woo!
And when Frank sung I Need You to Hold My Hand. Those two performances,
that's my favorite singer. That's my favorite quartet singer.
Those two brothers was out on a mission from both of those groups.
Yep.
And the performance that Melvin put on Justin, you can feel it. The performance on Melvin put on I'm Just a Nobody, and Frank, his brother, coming back and doing I Need You to Hold My Hand. Classic.
I still have that VHS, and I still have a VCR.
No, but see, now you can go on YouTube and watch it.
Yeah.
You can even find it. And man, I always said, Mama, thank you for giving me this music. Thank you. I love R&B. When I was on the road, you know how the only way I found out about the Canton Spirituals is this young lady that I know named Newey gave me the Canton Spirituals tape live in Memphis.
Ooh.
I took that tape on the road, and I had my boombox, and before shows, I would play quartet music before my shows.
Yep.
And man, the Cantons was burning up.
Man.
Shout
out to Uncle Harvey Watkins Jr.
Shout out to Uncle Harvey, man. One of my other mentors that I look up to. Man. And I was like, by then I was on the road. I can remember we was on the road, and the Cantons was here in DC. And they did the promoter here did a 2-night show. And the Cantons was on that show. This was Pop was living.
Yeah.
But he was just getting sick. He was sitting down. I came to that show and met all of them.
Wow.
And they knew who I was because I was with 2D. And I was able to meet Harvey, and me and Walter Strickland, the keyboard player, was best friends.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. One of the greatest keyboard players.
Oh, man. Yeah. Outside of Derek Lee, man, that was the best organist player, hands down, in my opinion.
Yes. Oh man, that's one of my favorites, man. And man, that it just don't hate on quartet, man. That's my favorite, man. I'm telling you, that's my favorite. That's the reason why I got Quartet Nation.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I got Quartet Churching, because of this.
Now talk about Quartet Nation, the radio station. Talk about Quartet Church and the song. Talk about that outlet.
Okay, so Quartet Nation, like I said, that was one of the. I started that branch from the Quartet Hour. I just had the Quartet Hour. I didn't really have a whole quartet station. It was just the Quartet Hour, and I would service that out to people. But then I decided to create Quartet Nation. Mm-hmm. And because I felt I wanted to keep the legacy going. So it's a 24-hour station, 5 days, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day with nothing but quartet. Now, we changed the format a little bit. We have shows on there like Bobby Parker. My wife, she has a praise and worship show on there. So there are some contemporary things on there, but 90% of it is strictly quartet music. We have DL and Band Backstage Pass.
Yeah.
We have the Mac Music Show that comes on every Tuesday. Yeah. We have my show, Quartet Churching, comes on. We just signed Isaac Lindsay show. We have who else do we have? We have Jonas Ross, Jonas Q Radio Show.
Yeah.
My boy John Brown.
Lady.
We have him. Boss Lady's on there. Exactly.
Quartet
Boss Lady's on it. Yes, Quartet Corner is on there. We have my boy John C. Brown with Deliverance and Song. Man, Quartet Nation is doing very well. And out of those shows, Quartet Churching, where actually all of them are syndicated, like whatever, but Quartet Churching from my station is syndicated from that station. So, man, Quartet Nation is doing well. I would never share Quartet. And there's been some challenges, DL.
Yeah.
Doing it yourself and trying to make sure things happen and having the right people in the corner. There's been some challenges.
Oh, yeah.
But I was not going to let this go. It was like my mother said, hey, I need you to do this. And I'm like, even my god brother, he loved the Quartet Hour. The one that passed away, he loves the Quartet Hour.
Yeah.
For him I would never let this station go, and it's been doing very well ever since.
And when you were saying it's been some rough moments, but God, that's but God. God's got it there to keep carrying it through. And we pray that he continues to give you the strength. And so what I like to do as we get ready to close up out of here, Jermaine, I want to bring part of the spirit of quartet churching of you and Randy show. I want to bring part of that spirit on. So I'm going to ask you, try to go 3 to 4 questions, and I want you to throw out the first answer that comes. Now, when I say this, you're probably going to laugh because it's from the spirit of y'all show. This is me paying homage to that show.
Okay.
You know you at a quartet concert when?
You know you at a quartet concert when the artists drive their bus to the show, but they're in their own city. I love it, man. But when you waste your gas to come to the show in that bus, and you know you could have drove your car here, that's when you know you at a quartet program.
We stunting.
I love it.
We stunting.
I love it. You gonna bring your bus? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
All right, here go number two. Number 2. You know you a quartet singer when?
He says, we getting ready to leave, y'all. But he sang 2 more songs. Like, dude, did you say you get ready to leave us? That was an hour ago, and you still singing.
Hey, we ain't got much time. We ain't got much time.
We about to go, y'all. Oh, you still on stage. Yeah. You still on stage, bro. But I love it. I love it.
All right. You know you a quartet musician when?
You tuning your guitar on stage. While y'all singing, you tuning your guitar.
Chicka, 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 chicka. No, that ain't it. Chicka, 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 chicka. No, that ain't it.
Guitar and get that tuner and start tuning your guitar, dog. What are you doing? I got another one. You know you had a quartet program when the dudes is not on the show, but they bring their guitar in like they playing for another artist to get in for free. Randy Gill did that for many years. Randy Gill did that. And nobody, when he was on the show he was playing for, he just walked in with his guitar.
He said, I ain't paying today.
Right. Yes, sir. Well, shout out to him, man.
Oh, shout out to Randy.
I love quartet.
Man. All right, last one, Jay. Here we go. You know you a quartet promoter when?
You don't got the money. Dude, I was at one of the, no offense to, man, they were looking for the promoter. That promoter was gone. Gone. I remember my boy Keith. I remember I was at a show. God bless the dead, my best friend.
Rest in peace, Keith.
Keith Wonderboy Johnson. I was at a show. I don't even think we were close. I don't think he knew us. He knew of me.
Look at that.
The people didn't have his show, so they were selling his shirts. He took the shirts and started selling them to make his money.
Y'all gonna get me right one way or the other. Y'all gonna make it sweet.
I said, yo, what the hell? He just took this man's shirt and started selling. Oh my God, man. I love Keith Wonderboy, man. I tell you, I still have his phone number in my phone.
I do too. I refuse to. Him and a couple other people, I refuse to delete it.
I would not delete it.
Still got his email address with the email right before he passed. And I've told this before, right before he passed, he was supposed to be on our show that I think it was that Wednesday. And we talked to him, I want to say that Friday, that weekend prior.
Yeah, because I was in Cincinnati. I had to host a Dedicated Souls live recording. So I got the news then. Jay Cam called me. Wow. I got the news then that he passed away. Jay Cam didn't even want to tell me.
Still unbelievable. Still unbelievable. One of the quartet greats, man. Wow. Rest in peace, Keith Wonderboy.
Another guy that I grew up listening. I mean, well, I didn't grow up. I was already grown. But another one of my favorites, man. You know, I mean, I wanted that. I wanted that reunion with him and Ray Braswell, Dewan.
Dewan, yeah.
I wanted that reunion before he passed.
Hezzy, yeah.
Hezzy, and man, Tyrone Jackson.
Yeah.
I wanted that reunion so bad, man. Oh my
yeah,
God.
we got cut short on that one. Hey, you were speaking about the Cantons, man, and one of my favorite Cantons, got to clean up. You know, that was live in Washington, living the dream.
I was there.
I was just about to say, man, take us through that.
I went with my mama. Those members, it was cold. Matter of fact, I came off the road and I met Wallace. Wallace, you know, he came in. Me and Wallace was best friends around that time. And I met Wallace that like when they were doing sound check. Me and my mom went to that show together.
Wow.
Those moments that you would never forget. I mean, every time I hear that album, I think of her because we were there.
Man. Rest in peace to Mr. Theo Pig. Man,
he was there.
He was on stage with him.
So
man.
I put God is amazing to me because I got a chance to see Pop Watkins. I got a chance to sing with Clean Clay and see Pig. You know, all these memorable people that we talk about, I was able to see them, man, before they passed away. So
man, God is good.
Shout out to Clee. Clee is still living and going strong. I talked to him the other day. Rest in peace to Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, they taught me a lot. I came in there humble. I made sure I did that. I came in there humble.
Because if not, they would have gave you some humbling. If not.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. The Clee said, nah, man, you don't do it like that. You know, no, Jermaine, you gotta do it like this. Yes, sir.
One of my favorite Pilgrim Jubilee story. They was in Kansas City. I was emceeing, and Clay was sitting down. And Clay, which one passed? Which one is
Clay's the one that passed.
Okay, so Clay, he was sitting out in his tracksuit, velour tracksuit, had his leg crossed. He's watching his brother and the other fellas do sound check. I said, man, y'all gonna tear it up tonight? He had a brown paper bag, and he said, if they ain't got my money, by the time my brother finished that first song, we going out with a bang.
Man, one thing Clay used to say before we go on stage, I ready to walk that dog. We had to walk that dog tonight. Yeah. I was like, man, he would always go to McDonald's for breakfast. Every time. He loved McDonald's breakfast, man. I enjoy those memorable moments.
Yes, sir.
So, man.
Thank God to get them, man. So Jermaine, how can they listen to the station? How can they find you guys on social media? How can they find you? Go ahead.
Okay, so you can listen to the station many ways. Quartet Nation, you can go to our website at www.jmickeyworldmusicent.com. That's www.jmickeyworldmusicent.com. Okay. And you can click the player button. We have both stations, the WAJM and we have Quartet Nation. You can click the players button to listen to Quartet Nation on the website, or you can go to Get Me Radio app, and you can listen to. All you gotta do is put up the Quartet Nation on there. Just put it in the words and save it, and you can register for free. The app is free. WAJM the same way. You can go on there, and we're on TuneIn on WAJM. Just go look up WAJM 102.1 Pulse Radio. Shout out to them too, man. After Dark with Jermaine, Mickey, Get Fresh Crew, all these shows are syndicated and doing very, very well. So, man, I'm excited about that, man. Shout out to my crew for the Get Fresh Crew radio show, Miss Joe, Miss Laditra, which you know, she's still with me. My boy RJ and our newcomer Joe. I missed somebody, Miss Kim.
Kim Burley. Yeah, what's up, sis?
So everybody, we having a good time with that, and we just going to higher heights and deeper depths, man. We're doing very, very well, and well, of course, y'all can reach me on social media platforms at Jermaine Mickey. Besides Instagram, it's Jermaine Mickey 2D, I believe.
Right on, bro, man. Much success to you. We're praying that higher elevation come, and God continues to increase your territory, your listenership, your viewership. Look forward to seeing you at the Spin Awards this coming year. And we got some awards we got to bring home, man. It's been awesome gas. It's been a blast talking to you, Jermaine. And I tried to do my best Don Cornelius right there for you.
just don't take me off stage, DL, like you done did.
Get all this stage.
Yeah, get all that off. Man, shout out to Bam Brown. I love you, boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bam Brown, he's out on today, but that's my own air ride and die, my comedy comrade. And that is the second half of DL's Backstage Pass Conversations podcast and the radio show. And as you can see, let me get this right. He over my shoulder right there. He got my back. So much love, man. Hang tight for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Jermaine Mickey. Yeah, man. So that's going to do it. We hope you enjoyed this dope conversation with another dope conversationalist. On behalf of my own air ride and die, my comedy comrade, Mr. Brown Bomber of comedy himself, Bam Brown, yours truly, the voice, Mr. Sad Fair, the DL Marshall. And just remember, the gospel of Jesus Christ is contagious. Catch it. All that you do, do it godly. Till the next time, we salute you and say, peace. Yes, yes.